Good morning. Please forgive the attire. This is my workout gear. Today's a lifting day for me. I haven't worked out in 13 days. 13 days? Holy cow, that's a long time between workouts. Well, a little bit longer than normal. I work out every 6 to 7 days on a routine basis, but due to scheduling conflicts last week, we didn't lift. However, this is not a bad thing, because sometimes an extended period of recovery can help. Especially when you're using the principles of high-intensity training. If you're not familiar with high-intensity training is a protocol that was kind of invented back in the 70s. Arthur Jones and one of my personal favorites, Dr. Ellington Darden, made it popular. Weightlifting Mr. Universe Mike Mensner also had his variation of high-intensity training called heavy duty. Very popular back in the day. It's kind of making a resurgence nowadays. A little bit of background on my journey with personal fitness. About 3 years ago, I was tipping the scales around 300 pounds. Just many years of inactivity and sloth-like behaviors and excessive eating pack on the pounds. Everybody knows that. I decided to lose weight about the time I had my first daughter. She's 4 now, so maybe it was 4 years ago. But anyway, that's not relevant. What is relevant is I got duped into the home fitness trend with the DVDs. You know, I'm not going to name the system, but I'm sure everybody's seen the ads. I don't really have any complaints with them, except for the commitment to it. There's an hour plus a day. 6 days a week, an option of 7 days a week. Anybody who has young kids at home knows that that's not really a realistic scenario to stick with that commitment. I did it. I did it for probably a good half a year, kind of off and on, a little bit of break here and there, and I lost some weight. I did. I really did. I went from about 300 pounds to the 250s. It was successful, but I had so far to go. There was no way that I could get that 3-month body. But anyway, I had a buddy, a good friend of mine, who acquired a book while serving overseas. So when he got back and learned that I was going to be getting fit, he let me read it. So I read it, and it was The New H.I.T by Ellington Darden, and it's a great book. I highly, highly recommend it. So I read it and said, oh wow, this is... I'm familiar with weightlifting, lifted in high school and whatnot, but this is a protocol that says lift only for 20 minutes, only starting out 3 times a week, do full body exercises. It just, it kind of made sense to me. I'll put some muscle on, but how am I supposed to lose the fat still? Well, that's when the diet part comes in, and calorie restrictions, drinking plenty of water. This is my little friend, comes with me everywhere. I drink about a gallon plus a day of as cold water as I can. There's thermogenic properties to drinking ice cold water. Drinking plenty of water helps your kidneys function the way they're supposed to. Frees up your liver to do what it's designed to do and metabolize more fat. So tons of water, restricted calorie diet, making sure your macronutrient content is an appropriate ratio. I use about a 50% carbohydrate, 25% fat, 25% carbohydrates, or proteins, I'm sorry. I've been doing HIIT for a few years now. I've packed on, I was at 220 last summer. I'm still about the same body fat percentage, and I'm back up into the 230s. So I've, not a spectacular gain, but a good solid 10 pounds of muscle. Currently ranging about 236 at 6'1". So I'm happy with it. A little bit leaner, but that's something you work on. But anyway, if you're interested in learning more about high-intensity training, there are resources available. Any book by Ellington Darden, highly recommend it. He's written over 40 books on the subject, including the Bowflex Body Plan, A Flat Stomach ASAP, the new H.I.T. Just tons of material out there. He's also got a website, drdarden.com. I'm on the members discussion forum under the tummy. So another good web resource if you have any questions about high intensity training, or if you're interested in what would be referred to as a super slow protocol, although it's not super slow. But anyway, check out renaissanceexercise.com. That great website. Very insightful blogs. Another good site is High Intensity Training by Drew Bay. Again, lots of blogs, not necessarily all about training, but kind of gets you in the mentality of somebody who has been doing high intensity training for a long time. You could try the more popular bodybuilding sites like bodybuilding.com and whatnot, but there's an awful lot of high volume guys out there, and then they don't really agree with H.I.T, or I don't want to say they don't agree with H.I.T, but they think high volume is the way to go, and it works for some people, I guess, but I don't have the time for a commitment like going to the gym 5 days a week and lifting for an hour, and I don't think I want to. The wear and tear on your body's got to be tremendous. If you're a genetic freak and you can pack on the muscle and you can recover very quickly, then fine. I happen to not be a genetic freak. I'm just an average Joe, but I'm putting on some pretty good size, so I'm happy with the results of high intensity training. One thing I'd like to discuss is, like I mentioned before, in the forum members, drdarden.com, and some of the other, there's a Facebook group for H.I.T and H.D advocates. Even though we all agree with the same principles, we all perform high intensity training, it seems that there are different versions of high intensity training, or different people's take on it. Some people think if you're just going intense, lift super heavy, lift super intense, still do it for an hour every so often, that they're doing high intensity. Well, I'm not going to disagree with that. However, that's not my take on it. My take on it is you want to do a brief workout, as brief as possible. You also want to give yourself adequate recovery. So that's why I only lift every 7 days. I don't need to do it 3 days a week. If I had access to the gym where it fit into my schedule, I might try to incorporate a split where I'd be doing certain body parts in conjunction over the period of a week, but I don't. So it's whole body once a week. You go to intensity. One of the other things that's kind of funny, people post videos and whatnot, and they get out there, this is my version of high intensity, and they'll be like just slinging weight around, like heavy weight, just slinging, doing half reps and mid sets and whatnot. And Arthur Jones and Mike Mensner and Darden always focused on making sure you're taking momentum out of each rep. So that's why they recommend a 4-2-4 cadence, 4 seconds on the positive, 2 seconds on a static hold, 4 seconds on a negative, which is, if you've ever tried it, you're going to have to reduce the weight, because there's no way you can do your max at that slow of a rep to get a full set. You got to lower your expectations a little bit, but if you concentrate on the form and you get that mind to muscle connection, man, that's intense. And it's also important to go to failure. Momentary muscular failure on the positive range of motion. Some people do negative or forced reps. I really haven't experimented with that too much, having good results just focusing on the 4-2-4 cadence. Occasionally I do a not till failure workout or NTF workout. I don't know why. There's sometimes, because I have a little bit of equipment at home, but it's not really that big of a deal. You do too many NTF workouts and you can inhibit your recovery ability. So, but anyway, back to the forums. One thing that I find kind of humorous about the H.I.T forums are, I think by nature the members of a H.I.T forum are all alpha male types, so they all think they're top dogs, and they think that their version of H.I.T is the best, or they don't take criticisms well. It's just kind of funny how catty some of the members can be, especially name calling and just demeaning comments here and there. You're going to have your trolls at any forum, but anyway, it's kind of funny. So anyway, we'll check you later. Thanks.